Mazda.
Kia ora everyone. A lake of buttermilk on a South Waikato farm. Is Fonterra using the remote land as a dumping ground? That story in a moment. Also tonight, neighbours at war.
Hank and Jean are both 82 years old, and they used to be friends. But this gum tree has caused such a major rift, they haven't spoken for 11 years.
We're in Blackheath where the flames just keep on coming.
Some people are very, very lucky to get away with their lives. Some people across the road were actually dragged out of the... the lady went to start a car and it actually caught fire. And the bushfire brigade actually pulled her out of the car. And they were probably within 30 seconds of perishing.
Amazing. Kate King's report later in the programme. This is the time of year dairy farms go into overdrive, and this year more than ever, while record milk production is a good thing for the economy, obviously, it can also create some problems. What to do with the surplus milk, for example. Usually it's trucked to specific farms with the right resource consent, then it's pumped, irrigated back into the land, fair enough. But in a valley near Taupo, a huge lake of buttermilk has collected. We all know what happens when milk is left out in the sun, so imagine the smell in the Atiamuri Valley. And what of the effect on the environment? Anna Burns-Francis went looking for the buttermilk lake.
The rolling green hills of dairy country, the Waikato, but away from public eyes is one of the dairy industry's dirty secrets.
It's neighbours at war.
Homecoming.
Tomorrow. Kate King with our cameraman Cam Williams reporting from the Blue Mountains. All schools are closed in the Blue Mountains and all rest homes evacuated in preparation for the worsening weather tomorrow. Obviously, we will keep an eye on what happens there. A few years ago, I was at the Victorian fires. I covered the Victorian fires. You remember them. Large loss of life. And one of the most incredible things I've ever seen was a chicken house with all the chickens inside it still alive, completely surrounded by trees and homes that had been totally burnt out and destroyed. That's how fast the flames move. The most bizarre sight. Coming up, a birthday celebration, 200 years in the making. A rather lovely story about two old survivors of World War II, RSA boys, vets, celebrating turning 100. But up next, one man's battle to be free of an enormous gum tree that really is messing with his life.
I don't feel like living anymore. It's a third world country if you can't use your toilet, but I'm not giving up. It's my right to live here without interference.
Neighbourly disputes can take many forms: noise, parties, fences, weeds, driveways. They can all grow into major arguments between people who otherwise appear to be quite sane. In East Auckland, there's a humdinger of a dispute between two people who used to be friends. They're both 82, but they haven't spoken since they were a youthful 71. Why? Well, it's not beatboxes, unmuffled cars or wild parties. The cause of this unneighbourly dispute is a gum tree. Tristan Clayton, who was incidentally beloved by his neighbours, went to meet them both.
At the top of Willow Way in East Auckland, there's a spectacular gum tree that looms large over the entire neighbourhood. The tree is about 60 years old and 30 metres tall, but for Hank van der Vliet, it's a menace that needs to be removed.
See, there is all the stuff that's falling on my driveway. It's dangerous to put the car there. Sometimes it comes down vertical. And they're stuck in the ground. It looks like they have to wear a helmet to go and get my letters.
Hank says the tree has been damaging his house ever since he moved to the street in 2001.
I took my big hammer, knocked a block out of it, and I fixed it for the chips.
Okay, so this crack here is from the root underneath.
Yeah.
He says the tree's roots have caused problems with his sewerage pipes.
And then a little hair come in the sewer pipe till it gets more and more and block the whole sewer. The sewer from the toilet will be showing on top there, you see.
Not very nice.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I put my number 8 wire in and a lot of water because I don't have not a lot of money, and I pulled that out, and it took me all day to dig everything up.
He also says leaves from the tree have wreaked havoc with his gutters.
The leaf from the gum tree got acid in the leaf.
Right.
And they go in metal, and they rust your metal away. I just fixed it 2 weeks ago, put new guttering in, plastic guttering this time, and it cost me more than $3,000. Usually I can do it myself because I'm a builder, because I don't have one over there.
Yeah.
But it's too hard for me now, you see, because I got a lot of heart trouble, and I only got one kidney,
Right.
you see.
And only one eye.
Yeah.
So
And then-
probably best that you're not fixing your own
Well,
guttering.
that's why I didn't do it, you see.
Yes. For Hank, the financial, physical and emotional stress caused by the tree has made his life a misery.
I don't feel like living anymore. It's a third world country if you can't use your toilet.
As far as Hank's concerned, the solution is simple.
If that tree is gone, nobody have any trouble.
But Hank's neighbour, Jean Jones, loves the tree. She says it's safe, in good health and ain't going anywhere. Hank and Jean are both 82 years old and they used to be friends. But this tree has caused such a major rift between them, they haven't spoken for 11 years. Hank says the tree is ruining his life. Jean says Hank's crusade against her beloved tree is ruining hers. And as for the neighbours, well, this issue is so sensitive here on Willow Way that not one of the 16 neighbours would speak to us on camera. To say this battle has taken over Hank's life is to state the painfully obvious. His living room table is covered with dozens of folders filled with the paperwork of a decade of research, correspondence and legal wrangling. In his bedroom, something even more startling. What's this?
That are the petitions where all the people signed for removal of the tree.
How many signatures have you got there?
11,000
11,000 signatures.
or more, because some people signed twice. I got about 200 more than 11,000.
Wow, that's a lot of signatures. He also has a councillor and a high-profile local historian on his side.
We're told it was part of a farm windbreak, and that gives it some historical connections. It doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be protected because of that. Sometimes trees have a natural life and their useful life has expired, and I think this one has.
But unfortunately for Hank, several different courts have sided with Jean. The most recent hearing found, while the commissioners have considerable sympathy for Mr van der Vliet, they find no evidence of risk and accept that the gum is deemed worthy of protection due to its significant visual amenity value. Which basically means Hank is going to have to get used to those branches, leaves and roots.
I got 4 daughters. They're worried about me that they give up that, and the hospital would say give up, but I'm not giving up. It's my right to live here without interference.
Tristram Clayton reporting.